I say let's just.
Yeah, I'm recording, so let's start.
And I was like, okay. We need to go ahead and mute everybody. Can you go ahead and mute everybody, Laura?
Yep.
There's a lot of background noise, a lot of static or something.
No, I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't either. It's really weird. Anybody on an iPhone?
Okay. Perfect. Alrighty. So we're all going to kind of, Melanie, me, and Marilyn are going to talk, all three of us. And then I know that Denise has a story she wants to share as well. So we really enjoyed Big Al. We really appreciate Melanie for doing that for us and bringing him out. What a great training he had. 3 hours kind of packed full of all kinds of stuff, leaving us hanging on basically just telling us to tell our story, because that's what this business is about. You know, it's about relationships, and it's about, you know, it's all about telling your story and what your story is, and you have to figure out what your story is. And my story changes all the time, and I know your story is going to change all the time. And so let's go ahead and start out. Do we want to start out with Denise's story? That way we can kind of, you're going to have to unmute yourself, Denise.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so I reached out to this girl like a few months ago, and she messaged me yesterday asking more about Plexus. So I came back from the Big Al thing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try talking to her differently to see if it works. So this is what I said. Where is she? Okay. So she wanted to talk. So since I wasn't coming to her first, I was trying to figure out a way to approach her to get to say what he said. So first I asked her, are you looking for a new job to quit your current job, or just an extra job to make more money? And then she just said it depends on how much she made with Plexus. So then I said, would it be okay if I told you how to make more money than your current job by working less hours? Which is kind of like a duh question, of course, but it worked because she said yes. So then I kept talking. And I told her that with Plexus, you only need 3 things to be successful. And I said exactly what Big Al said. A decent attitude, which she has one, motivation, and I told her she has because she contacted me, and skills. But I would teach her the skills after she joined, and that she could be making 6 figures a month and a year if she stayed dedicated to it. And then she kept asking me, am I taking any risk, which I don't mind taking. So I could see that she was interested in engaging and that it was getting her excited. So I kind of briefly told her we get paid 11 ways. Commission is one of them. The only risk you take is the $34.95, which is your yearly website fee. And then she kept asking more questions, like, if it's not too personal to ask, did you make enough money to pay for college? Because she wants to pay for college. She just got married and she's younger than me. So I'm sure she has a lot of financial issues right now. And so I kind of explained to her my Plexus deal. And I told her that there's moms with 6 kids who homeschool who are making $500,000 a year. So really anybody can do it. And then she said, wow, I'm actually really excited. How do I get started? So then we went from there. So just the way that I put it was way more effective than it's ever been, because usually people will ask me about Plexus, but I just kind of give them all the information at once and kind of overwhelm them. And then they are kind of okay, and then they never respond. But by asking her the questions that Big Al gave us, it kind of got her excited and asked, kept asking more questions. So.
That's great. Wow. That's perfect.
Yeah, it was super easy. I was kind of okay.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep, that's my story.
We can't hear you, Melanie.
Try and get her to come home.
I forgot I'm used to being the host. Okay. So, that's what's so funny, how just changing some words around, how different people can respond to you when, obviously if what you're doing is not working, that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again. So try a new approach. I mean, he's been in network marketing for 44 years. For those of you that don't know who Big Al is, he actually spoke at convention last year when we were in Phoenix. And I went to one of his trainings last August. My husband and I, and actually my mom was there, my dad. And we just asked him, would you ever be open to doing a training for our team? Not really thinking he ever would. Because the night that we went, it was a bunch of different network marketing companies, so it wasn't specific to Plexus. So it had skincare, and he talked about all kinds of different things. And so, but we thought the tools were so awesome, we wanted him to be able to help us apply them to Plexus. So such a God thing. Out of the blue, he emailed me. We had just started like bringing out his information again. I have read the 4 color personalities, which I'm going to go over tonight because I think they're very pertinent for those of you that haven't heard of his book. This is a great one and a must read. I think it's really helped me in my business. It's one of the first books I read when I started Plexus. So this is definitely a great book to have. Also, he emailed me out of the blue and he just said, I'm going to be in town. I'd love to do a training for your team. So of course we made it happen. We were very excited to have him there. And he was willing to do a 3-hour training for us. I did get some of it on video that I'll upload to the team page, but not a whole lot. He didn't really want us like videoing the whole thing. But also he will be back August 30th, like I said. And good job, Denise, on taking those skills and apply them. Because the thing is, like he said, he can give us the skills, but if we don't apply it, it's not even going to really matter, right? So it's very important to, when you learn something new, let's apply what he's teaching us. And he said, if you can take this information and, really be a student for 3 months, really learn network marketing, really learn these skills, then you'll in turn be more effective in your business. And then he started going cha-ching, 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 right? So the more effective you are of how you're talking to people, the better, more success you're going to have in your business, because this is a people business. It's very important for your communication skills and how you're talking to people. So,
yep, absolutely. That's great. Yeah. And we all have a story. Like everybody's got a story. Like you have a story with something really different in every aspect of your business. Like I have a different story when it comes to the way I've lost weight with Plexus. I have a story in the way that Plexus has helped Brad and I pay off our debt. I have a story with Brad's health and how it's changed his health. I have that story. You can make your stories very quick. And that was his point, is people's, like, literally you want to tell your story very, very, very quickly. I mean, he said 8 seconds. I mean, but within 60 seconds, people do not want to hear your whole life story. They want to hear your story very quickly, but you can catch somebody's attention just in the words that you say. It doesn't have to be like this huge spiel. You're only going to have their attention span for a very short amount of time. So you want to say your story in a very short amount of time, but it's the words that you use and the words that you say. And I think Denise did a perfect job in the words that she said, because you have to listen to people. Remember, we have to be active listeners. And you have to listen to what people say and what they want. And, what she wants is, obviously she wants help paying for her college, and so she needs to go back and remember that and say, yes, Plexus can absolutely help you through college and help you with that for sure. So I love that. So, we learned so much, but that was just one of the things.
Mom, do you want to jump in and share a little bit about maybe the first, like he talked about the first phrase, talking about the different sound bites, like phrases, for people to make that immediate decision. You want to go into some of those phrases? Just make sure you unmute yourself. It's in the lower left-hand corner.
I thought she did it.
There we go.
There you go.
Well, basically, he was talking about you need to make a decision with trial and error, and this is what we have to do as ambassadors with our trial and error, is learn these words and the right words to use, or just keep our day job and not progress and learn and grow. So I kind of like the idea of not keeping my day job option and learning the sound bites. But he said that you can have different things. You don't want to just, when people say, what do you do? And you just basically have things like, you tell people things like, well, I work for Plexus. Plexus. And they go, well, what's that? Well, what do you want to know about it? And I'll say, well, you can say it's turns your body into a fat burning machine. What else do you want to know? And then they'll say something else, and you can tell them something else about it. Well, I'm able to retire early because of this business. What else would you like to know?
That was so good.
You know, and so you just leave them asking for more and more and more. And then I'll say, well, is it expensive to get into? $34.95. What else would you like to know? So you just give them the answer directly to just that question only, and then you just keep saying, and what else would you like to know? And then you end up getting them where you can actually talk to them and, like, you know, get them to join. But some of the sound bites he said when you talk about your business, and the answers could be, well, Plexus turns your body into a fat burning machine. You know, just something simple like that. Well, Plexus heals you from the inside out. What else you want to know? Or, and then you also have to, another phrase he said to use, and this is something to write down, would it be okay if? Mm-hmm. And you ask them, would it be okay if? And that's an instant decision on them for yes, because we've been taught to be polite when we say, well, no, you know, so you just say, would it be okay if? And that's an automatic response. He said we don't need to tell them everything that Plexus does, because the company actually does all the shipping, they do all the billing, they do everything. Basically, all we need to do is get people to make a decision and get them in the mind of a decision. And if people say, how do you get paid? Well, you know, then there's different things you can tell them about that. But basically by just sharing how to, for people to get healthy. So what he was basically telling us in the training is that the things we don't know is what's holding us back. So we just need to start. We learned so much about Plexus, the knowledge about the business, the knowledge about the products. And if we can just answer people with sound bites before they're asking for more, it's engaging them, and they're asking us. It's not like we're throwing Plexus up on them, where that turns them off and they just shut down because they think you're going to sell them something. Mm-hmm. And they said that people do not make decisions on the information. People make the final decision instantly before the information even begins. Yes. So I thought that was really important.
Within 8 seconds, he said, which is like, so y'all, like today, I'll give you an example. I met a nurse at the pool. I was really very strategic with how I talked to her. Very brief, but it was really easy because kids are always distracting. But I definitely left her wanting to know more, you know? So I was totally different. I probably usually almost give too much info. So I totally changed my approach today. So I'm excited to see what happens this week with her. Good. But I think it says how many people know when human mind makes a decision. I guess he said, I wrote 8 seconds somewhere and 17 another. Does anybody know either way, it's quick.
He said it's quicker than 8 seconds, no longer than 8 seconds.
Okay, that's.
You gotta freeze your mind. Because
that's right, because the goldfish has the attention span 9 seconds and we have 8.
Right. So when he said we need to freeze their mind so they don't just shut us off immediately, we need to take control of their mind totally, where they focus on us so the message gets in their head. So that's why you say, well, I've got a good story, you know, and that freezes their mind because they're like nosy and they want to listen, like, oh, what's her story? And we have 8 seconds to create that story. So you might want to practice what your story is. Yeah. So when you say I've got a good story, you know what your story is. You're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we can go into some examples on that. But one thing I want y'all to write down, because this is something he had us write down, that you can send a text. He said, send a text right now to 3 people. Okay. And this is what it says on the text. So I want everyone to get a pen and paper and write this down. I got a good story, period. Tell you when we have a chance to catch up and talk. Do you guys see how he leaves you hanging with that? I mean, if people are going to blow you off, they're going to be, what is he, like, he said immediately when you say, I got a good story, it like breaks off the salesman and everything in them. They're like, he said, they're like a puppy dog waiting for a treat, ready to hear whatever you have to say. I love that because it's so true. Like right when he said it, I was like, what's your story? Like I was excited to hear his story. So he caught me in the middle, like, I want to hear. So that's a great way. And then you get him on the phone and you can share quickly, you know, about Plexus and what it's doing. So you could say something like, I figured out how Plexus can turn my body into a fat burning machine.
Well, I can say something like, I've got a good story. I know how I can retire earlier with a healthier and double my income of what my current job is. Or I've got a good story. I've learned how to pay off my credit cards every month. Or I've got a good story. I'm making double mortgage payments. It's just something, whatever's engaging to get them attention. And you could even make it something that you think would maybe benefit that person. If you know it's something that they're struggling financially or health or whatever, make your good story kind of something that they could relate to.
Yes.
And he said that if they're not interested in your story, they'll like change the subject really quickly, so or it's pretty much yes quickly because they're going to ask for more information. So I think that's really important. So to really read people and to know that obviously if they start completely changing the subject and they don't care to hear your story or whatever, or you start sharing your story and they change the subject, that gives you a good clue right then to talk to another person.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there, and you only need, as you guys know, we only, like we talked about yesterday, 7, to go diamond, 7 legs. So it can happen. Just got to draw your line in the sand. And he also used the quote, well, you know how. He says, well, you know how we get tired in the middle of, like you can say, I got a good story. And then you lead into, well, you know how. So that immediately has people relating to you. Well, you know how a lot of us get tired in the middle of the afternoon about 3 o'clock. I figured out how to not be tired anymore at 3. And then you don't say anything else. And they're like, well, how is that? You want to leave people asking more questions to where they're really engaged.
Yep.
He also did some skills on how to talk to strangers. He gave an example of standing in the line at the bank or somewhere waiting, and you're standing next to somebody, and you could just say, well, what's new with you? Or how's your day been? Something. And they'll say, great, how's yours? And you go, mine's great. I got a good story. And then he just kind of goes into it. And they'll say, what do you do for a living? Well, I've got a good story. Just different things. He gave us different ways to get into it where it's easy. It sounds easy, but we just need to start practicing it. But but how to do that cold call, started a conversation with a stranger. What's new with you? And then when they ask you what you do. But he gave us a lot of things, a lot of words and how to say it so we don't have rejection immediately.
And, this and then using these techniques, can really bring a lot of unlimited prospects. So you can afford to be choosy. Wouldn't that be nice to afford to be choosy in who you want in your business? And, and then you're not so attached if somebody, comes or goes, right? You're just, you've got just so many people knocking on your door wanting to know more about Plexus. So he's really, this works, this guy has 45 years experience and he knows what he's talking about. And if you guys have not heard any of his videos, I really highly suggest you go listen to some on YouTube, read his books. I'll get into this very briefly at the end, but I love what my mom talked about with the rejection free, the 7 words he said 3 times. And it was, basically like he said, say you have one of your, a skeptical relative sitting there saying, oh, tell me about Plexus or whatever. And you can say, what would you like to know first? Okay. So they're expecting this long sales pitch, which doesn't work. Y'all don't do the 45 minutes sales pitch. They're going to shut you off. Remember the whole 8 seconds thing? It's real. People are going to shut out. They're not going to hear all that. So what would you like to know first? Instantly disables the salesman alarm, whoever you're talking to. And then you're very brief. The company is called Plexus. Well, and you say, what would you like to know next? And they say, is it like a health company or what is it? Yeah, it's a health and wellness company. What else would you like to know? You'll see how we're not going into the whole spiel. What would you like to know next? So you're answering exactly what they want to know. And he said it just leaves people really wanting to know more. So, and it's a great way to avoid rejection. So.
Well, and it makes it about them.
Exactly.
Not about what you're doing, but it makes it about what they're wanting out of it, not about what you need out of it, but what they want out of it, and which is what it's all about, you
Exactly.
know? So,
and try not to just convince people, because that doesn't go over well either, because then you end up talking too much and probably puking plexus, and they shut you out a long time ago.
right.
So,
Yep.
and also you can go under bigalbooks.com and you can get a free book and 2 audios. So make sure you do that because it's free. And whenever he comes back, he'll have these, but I think this is like a $300 set for like $200. So it's got hours of info, like how to manipulate and control the minds of others for fun and profit. Big Al's Learn the Secret Language of Prospects. Big Al's Needs versus Wants. So anyway, he's got tons of CDs here that I'm sure you can get them on Amazon, but honestly, if you're local, I would wait till you see him again because you'll get the discount. I'm sure he'll bring them again.
And I also want you all to write this down. These are Big Al's magic words. Would it be okay if, which I used on the lady tonight, would it be okay if I called you tomorrow at 5:30?
Perfect.
So you just say, would it be okay if? Well, everybody says they're having great results with plexus, but you just start with everybody says, and then they'll think, oh, well, everybody? Everybody knows. So you can say, everybody knows that 2 paychecks are better than 1. Most people, and then ... get a friend to join them for accountability.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
And there's an old saying, pay it forward. I don't know. There's an old saying, and then they think that, whatever the old saying might be. And then the last magic words he stated, is I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is we get so many toxins and additives in the food that we eat, and the good news is that you can get a head start with the best plant-based products with plexus.
Oh, I love that. I remember that from his other course too.
Yeah.
So those are some things, if you need me to repeat them, I will, but I wrote those down. I'm even going to put them in my phone or maybe even, just so I can see it all the time with my affirmations, because I want it to be automatic. I want his little, because I don't want people's minds to automatically close when we start to talk to them. We want to engage and have them want to hear more.
And please repeat them if you would.
Sure. Okay. Would it be okay if everybody says, everybody knows, most people, and then they put a ... but I wrote down, get a friend to join with them for accountability. Or you could say, most people know that 2 paychecks are better than 1. Those are just some examples. Then there's an old saying, and I have some good news and some bad news. And then you can fill in the blank. I just put, the bad news is we get toxins in our food and our water and full of additives. The good news is that plexus is pure and beneficial plant-based products that work. And the magic words open people's minds automatically before they hear anything about the opportunity. So they're not shutting you down before you can even talk about the opportunity. And one of the other things he said too, I thought was good, that there's 2 types of people in the world. And those that like diets and expensive health clubs, and ones who want to do it right the healthy way and keep the weight off. So I thought that was pretty good, the 2 types of people in the world.
Yeah.
I also I just really like what he said about plexus. being a fat burning machine, turns your body into a fat burning machine. Who wouldn't want that, right? I just thought that was really powerful.
Is that our ninja trick? Was that the ninja trick?
Yeah. And then that's when, it went back to the whole, I got a good story. So that one he didn't talk about a year ago whenever I went to his course. This is new. So you always learn new stuff, but I'm going to use this. I'm going to definitely use this a lot. I got a good story. Tell you when we have a chance to catch up and talk. Boom. Then you got them on the phone. But then again, when you're on the phone, don't throw up plexus. Okay. You have to be very effective in your phone conversation. And I always have kids to get me out off the phone quick. So I never have a long time, but I can still get a lot accomplished in a 15-minute phone call.
I like that he said the human mind makes decisions with no information. Oh boy, do we know that. They make a decision before they even know what they're saying no to.
Mm-hmm.
Just based on, yep.
People make the final a decision instantly before the information even begins. So that's why you got to engage them in a story or something before you even start talking about the business, because their mind's already made up and they think you're going to sell them something. They just shut down.
Yeah, because people love stories. And that's why we always hear facts tell, but stories sell. Yep. Okay. So never forget that.
Yep.
People don't want to hear, unless they're like a doctor, dietitian, somebody like that. I mean, they'll want to know the facts, but you can email them all that stuff. They can read it on their own. Facts tell, stories will sell every time.
And I thought this was really funny. We need to learn the skills and practice them. But he said so we have an automatic follow-up. When, like the girl told me today that she was interested in joining and we were supposed to meet. And then she had her brother come, so then we were supposed to be on a call tonight at 5. And she said, well, I decided that I'm just going to put it off for now and just not do anything extra. And I said, great, but think about tomorrow. Would you do me a favor when you're thinking about it tomorrow when you're going to work? What your goals are. Where will you be in 5 years with this job? Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, he said a funny story. He said, need to think it over? Great, think it over. But do me a favor. Tomorrow morning, when you go to work, ask yourself, do I really want to leave my family in the morning and my Pinto dream car, the car of my dreams? And, just kind of make it personal for them. And then every morning when they start putting their key in that Pinto dream car, then they're going to think, man, it would be kind of nice to have a free Lexus or whatever. So it starts the automatic follow-up, and you don't have to constantly follow up because it starts that automatic follow-up planted in their head, which I thought was really great.
Yeah.
And the thing is, just so y'all know, and we're going to go into the color personalities really quickly, but he's a green, which we'll go over what that is. So just so y'all know, he was an engineer, and he said it took him a year and 10 months of basically talking to 1,500 people with no dreams. So obviously he was just saying the wrong thing, right? So he was making fun of himself. But the point is, anyone can learn these skills, okay? So I don't care what your personality is or, anyone can do this. It's just a matter of drawing your line in the sand and spending time to be, it's really a student in network marketing, because he said, spend 3 months, get this down. And he goes, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I mean, these strategies are proven to work. I mean, he's obviously very successful and, is a multimillionaire. So, I mean, this stuff works. He has studied it and really gotten it down. And that's why he's written 8 books and, has 80 million publications. Okay. So what we're teaching you guys works. So just apply it. I mean, because it really does work. Okay, so 4 colors personalities, just really quickly. This is written by Big Al Schreider, okay? I'm just going to very briefly go over what they are. I do use this in my business and think about this a lot. But the yellow is me and Laura and my mom. And we like to help everybody, okay? So we're helpers. We are the type that will do more for other people than they will for themselves. Sort of sounds like someone's mother, doesn't it? These people are professional helpers. They live for the chance to be of assistance. It makes them feel good to help. Okay. So this personality is typically massage therapists, kindergarten school teachers, fundraisers, nurses, social workers, charity volunteers, ministers, counselors, caregivers, and I'll throw in occupational therapists in there because that's what I do. So we obviously, why? Because they enjoy careers that like to help people. Okay, very briefly, I'm going to run over to the blue. The blue likes to have fun, party. Everything's a party, okay? So they love to party. They love to have fun. They love adventure. They love trying new things. They love to travel. And most importantly, they love to meet new people. Would that be important in network marketing? Absolutely. But the blues have never met a stranger. So, this is one thing to think about. When you're talking to people, you can really very quickly figure out who they are and how you need to talk to them. If you know they're a blue, then you need to talk all about Hawaii and, Kona and convention every year and leaders retreat. And oh boy, we have so much fun traveling. And these are like guaranteed 3 trips a year. Okay. Along with just all the people they meet and get to have fun with, and they can do sip and seas and wine and wellness events or whatever they want to do and get to make money. Okay. So that's your blues, okay? You want to talk all about the fun. Reds, they want to be in charge. They want to be the boss. They want to tell other people what to do. They're great organizers, bottom line people who want results. They hate people with whiny excuses, and they're all about the money. So when you're talking to a red, what do you need to talk about? The comp plan. Show them the income disclosure. You're going to show them your paycheck if that's what they want to see, okay? They need to see this is a real opportunity and that this could work. Stu and Alex, okay, you're a red. Awesome. So we need to talk about money with you, okay? That's what's going to draw you into the business. So you want to think about this with who you're talking to. Greens, they're typically engineers, accountants, computer geeks, scientists. It says, yes, green personalities are boring people, personality-free, charisma biased, bypass, and should not be let out in public. While the yellows are all about helping people, the blues are about having fun, the reds are all about the money, the greens are only interested in information, okay? So the word data gets the greens excited. So for the greens, you're going to probably want to give them the science and ingredients document, and you're going to want to just fill their heads full of information, okay? They just want to read as much as they can, to learn as much as they can. And that is this book in a nutshell. It's got more than that, but it's only 95 pages. I really highly suggest that you read this book.
It's in his CD series as well, Mel. And he also talked about, we all probably wear dots on our heads so everybody knows what we are, but it gets to be where you pretty much can figure it out. And we're usually more than one color. We have one dominant color, but then we also have another color. But I wanted to share real quick something that Big Al shared too from Jim Rohn that I thought was really good. Have you found the opportunity that will take care of you and your family for the rest of your life? How much time do you spend each week looking for it? When you decide to start looking, here's my card.
Awesome. That's really good. Very powerful.
That's from Jim Rohn. So that might be something I say to this girl when I follow up with her and have lunch. How much time do you, or anybody that's unhappy with what they're doing, how much time do you, how have you found the opportunity that will take care of you and your family for the rest of your life? I thought that was pretty powerful.
It gets people thinking. Laura, anything else?
No, I don't think so. That was great. I mean, I think that, like you said, he left us hanging with so much more. I think when he comes back on the 30th, I think we're going to have a lot more info that he's going to give us. I actually have downloaded a few of his really good leadership books on my Kindle on my phone, and I've gone over some of those. He's got some great leadership books on leaders and how to develop leaders, which I think is great because that is probably one of the most difficult things in this business is developing leaders. Because some people you think that are leaders in your business that you're training and spending months and months and months with are not leaders. And so we kind of have to decipher between who is a leader, who we need to spend our time with, and who we are wasting our time with. And so I am reading up on those right now, and because that's kind of where I am right now. And getting to be where I need to be in my business, which is diamond, and developing leaders. I mean, that's what this business is about. So I'll be reading up on those, and hopefully maybe he can give us a little bit of training on that as well too. So.
Yeah, and I think he mentioned in his next training, he's going to give us some more closers, like how to really effectively close people. So I'm excited about that too, because he kind of left us with, next time I'll go over, closing people. So I'm excited to hear what he has to say about that.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Make a decision very quickly. So
yeah.
And I ask about how do you get people on Zoom trainings when leaders are spending their time to train you for success, because we're committed and dedicated to the success of our team, and for them to just take the time to listen and learn. BigAlReport.com. I get an email from him every Monday and every Thursday. If you want to get an email from him, you can. But as Melanie said in the beginning, please take advantage of getting that free download. There's a video and a free book download and the 2 audios.
Yeah, he's got some awesome books. He really does. So.
All right, y'all. Let's see. Let me take the chat really quick, because I know people are mainly talking about what colors they are. And yes, Brittany, I did answer your question. Can they be more than one color? Yes. I think you have a dominant color, but I definitely have a little bit of, honestly, all of them in me. I just think it's like, I'm definitely a mix of all of them, but it's just like what percentage, Right. So I definitely would say I'm dominant yellow, but I'm definitely getting some red in me lately. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. I was dominant yellow, and I thought I was dominant yellow with maybe some blue, but now I'm dominant yellow with my red and then blue are like 1% off different. And then green's the last one. Because I could care less about all the data. I just want to be with the people.
Yeah, I'm like 0% green. I'm like 90% yellow, getting to maybe 5% red, and then 5% blue, 0% green. If that adds up to 100.
Yeah, I definitely have some green in me, but I think that was me in the beginning, and that's gone away because I'm like, I'm too busy. I got to get out there and share, so I can't get stuck in green mode. But as being in the scientific field, I mean, you definitely have a little bit of that in you.
But what I love about this business is you can be dominantly one thing, and you can be a jewel in this company. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, how can you be a yellow and be a diamond?" Well, you can. You absolutely.
Well, look at Big Al. He's green, and he's like an engineering nerd that doesn't talk to people. And look at him. So
yeah. So love it.
Does anyone have any questions? I know it's a lot of info when you weren't there, and I hope we did it justice. He was hilarious. It's hard for us to even convey that, but he was so entertaining. If you guys did miss yesterday, save the date. We really want all of you there. That lives locally, definitely, to try to make it a priority. We are looking into a bigger venue. We're going to probably open it up to a lot more people in Plexus if we can get a big enough venue. So we'd love to have all of you there.
Yep, absolutely.
And Brittany said, I wish I could have been there. Oh, Brittany, but you can come on August 30th. So save the date, 6 to 9, he'll be back. I don't know if you heard that part.
We'll make a graphic and make a save the date.
Yeah, for sure. Grace, do you have any questions?
No, not really. I listened to the thing the other day, that you posted online.
Yeah.
And that was like y'all just kind of reiterated all of that. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things in this business. Honestly, we duplicate, and you're going to hear a lot of the same stuff. Okay. And that's what's cool about this business, though, is like anyone can do this. It's just duplicating, and we just learn and we just apply the skills. But these truly are skills.
Yep.
And you get really effective with how you're talking to people, and you want it to be like, this is like you're becoming Big Al, like that's how you talk now. Because I've never said, I got a good story, call me in 20 minutes. It's like, when can I do try to peg them on a time, but I've never made them hang them for more, I don't think. So I'm excited to have that new verbiage, to help me. So.
Perfect.
And he went on, he elaborated more than that video that Melanie posted online too, with more sound bites and more of the story. And then also what I was saying about your skills as far as, where is that? But I was going through the magic words.
Oh.
You know how, and what is, that kind of thing. So I thought that was, so I wrote those down so I could make sure that I say those, get used to saying things like that.
So my challenge to everyone tonight is I want you to use my text that he told all of us to send. I want you to send it to 3 people. That was his challenge to all of us in the room. So I'm going to challenge you guys on the call. You're going to say, I got a good story to 3 of your prospects. And then you're going to say, tell you when we have a chance to catch up and talk. Okay, that's all you're going to say. I want you to send that to 3 people. That's your challenge tonight. Can everybody do that?
Yep. And if they respond to you immediately, you better have a story.
Yeah, you better be ready.
I had a good one. You know what? It was even before his training. But we went on a cruise for 7 days, and I took my block with me, and we ate about 6 meals a day. I don't know if y'all have ever been on a cruise or not, but you eat a lot, like 6, 7 meals a day. And we were just constantly eating. And I took my block between not every single meal, but like 3. I took it 3 times a day, like consistently. And I got back and got on the scale, and I gained 0 pounds.
Wow.
And that's my story. You can go on a cruise for 7 days, eat 6 meals a day, and gain 0 pounds.
Grace went on her honeymoon, and she didn't gain, right, Grace? Or some trip?
Oh, it was our honeymoon to an all-inclusive. Same thing. I lost half a pound. It was awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Go
That'll get people's attention right there.
Yeah.
So there's your I've got a good story. That's true.
Yep.
There's your story.
Yep.
Y'all are set. Anyone else have anything? I just ordered block and cannot wait to try it. Brittany, it's awesome.
It is awesome.
Okay, and then
You're
Debbie
gonna
said,
love
loved your presentation. Been watching Big Al's YouTube since I missed it. Can't wait to see him in person. Yes, you're going to love him, Debbie. He's awesome. So everybody save the date. I know everybody has a lot going on. It's going to be right around school starts and all that, but it's going to be awesome. It'll be worth your time and any sacrifice. And you got a month to figure out childcare. So
Yep.